Welcome. This is episode 3 of So Crafty with Ashley.
And Lisa.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Lisa.
You can find me at Caffeine and Yarn on Instagram and Caffeine and Yarn on Ravelry as well. They'll all be linked in the description.
And you can find me at Lisa So Crafty on Instagram, Facebook, and Ravelry. Lisa So Crafty 13. So, how was your 2 weeks?
It was good. Didn't get a whole lot of knitting done. Did get some acquisitions. And I finished this. I was getting ready to bind off this last week, and then I also finished a couple things. So
I don't have much finished this
Yeah.
time. And I said last time, that's how it goes. Sometimes you get a lot, you're kind of wrapping things up. Right now I'm in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff. So, be talking about lots of whips today. So do you want to go with your finished objects?
Sure. So I'm trying not to hit the top of the mic here. So what I'm wearing, my finished object, this is the Easy Goes It shawl. I was just getting ready to bind off. Just a nice asymmetric shawl. This was made out of Rags Fiber Co. Grateful is the colorway. And it's actually a gift from my mom. So after I wear it, I will give it to her.
Pretty. And I am wearing, it's a Hohi Locatelli pattern. It is called the Lace and Fade Boxy. And it is some of my hand-dyed yarn. And then the lace sections are a mohair that I have here in the shop. So it's kind of like speckles and teals. And then this is more of like a mauvey purple. But it's kind of cropped. So, obviously you're going to wear something under it because it's, see-through. So I made this one kind of cropped. I have some like summer dresses that I wear it over top. And today I just put like a little Henley on underneath it. So, because it's chilly here.
It is. It was like 30 something this morning.
Yeah.
It's finally kind of hit that cold weather.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit, but not much. I think we're in it now.
Yeah. So we're in Pennsylvania, so we hit 3 seasons in a day.
Right.
So I have like my heated seats on whenever I go to work, and then I want the air conditioner on when I leave most days.
Yep, for sure. All right. So I have one other finished object. I'm going to stand up and grab it. This is going to air after the Rags Fiber Festival this weekend, but we all have to dress in costume. So my friend Kim graciously let me borrow this witch's costume, and then I just crocheted with like silver, really, really thin. This is actually DMC like floss. Okay. And then this is a yarn I have. I didn't have much of this, so then I went to that. So I just crocheted some spider webs and kind of put them here and there. So this is my costume for the Rags Fiber Festival. So hopefully folks saw me post it on Facebook, and I've been sharing Tony's little updates. So yeah, it should be fun this week, and I'm excited. I leave tomorrow. I'll go down, unpack, and then spend the night, and then the show is Saturday.
And I'm going to try and make it there. And if we do, we may go live or may do like add a little bit of video into it.
I'll take video for sure. I may even take some tomorrow night because it'll be quieter and,
kind of like the booths and stuff.
Yeah, like the folks that are there. I don't know that everybody will be there, but most people I would think would come set up the night before, because the day of would be crazy. It'd be hard.
It starts at 10.
I think it's 10 to 3.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday. I'll be here at the shop tomorrow. I hope to maybe leave a little bit early, but we'll see. See how it goes. Fridays sometimes they're busy and sometimes it's crickets. So who knows?
And then I have another finish. So this is Ethan, my son's hat. This is a Musselboro hat. So it's a paid for pattern, so I can't talk too much about it, but it kind of gives you this super oblong shape, and then they fold in on each other. Something I have seen a few other people do is I did one, let's see if you can see it there, one purl row
here. I don't know if you can see it.
And that tends to help. I've heard people say that helps to kind of keep it, whenever you fold it, it kind of gives you a line to fold it on.
Now, how did you decide where to put it?
So there on the pattern is a schematic of if you would want to do. So it'll give you like measurements depending on what size you want to do, from like the brim to here, and then
Okay.
the brim, the 2 sections of brim, and then the other section. So it's kind of
Okay.
broken down. So I did that, and then you could wear it. Kind of did it stripey this way, or all, and then flip it with the
Which way
black.
does Ethan like?
He didn't really say. He tried it on the other night, and then it was like close to bedtime, so he was just kind of like over it.
Whatever. Yeah.
But I am excited. I want to do one in a lighter weight, like a fingering weight,
I'll show you mine.
because look at, I love the decreases.
Uh-huh.
And if you do one that is all the same color, or that you can easily wear it, it didn't show out as well this side. See if I can see it the light there, because I held the 2 yarns double.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about it, this is a whip, obviously, but this is my Musselburgh. And you can see.
I get that cool little star design.
Yeah. Now, I'm not real great at the beginning. There is a hole, like I have my finger through the hole. I'll just go back and sew that shut. I have enough of a tail that I can just cinch that up when I'm finished. But this is one of my hand-dyed yarns. I am knitting it on 16-inch circulars. I've done the whole thing on 16-inch circulars.
Oh, really? You started too?
I did. Now, it was pretty fiddly.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the beginning, doing I did magic loop, which is where you hold your needles parallel, bring it around, do one side, flip it, break. So that was pretty fiddly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I was getting real close to being able to stretch it around.
Yes.
Because I had, 20 some stitches possibly on each needle. You can do it with double points. You can do it with
all magic loop.
All magic loop. Yeah, but I'm really, really liking. So this is a hand-dyed yarn of mine, and I am loving.
I love that micro striping on it.
And it's just, you don't know.
Yeah.
You literally don't know. It's just tonal, and I can show you the ball. So yeah, it's just tones of blue. There's some light and dark.
It's really a great pattern too if you have that single skein that you don't want to make socks with or something, and it's basically you swatch as you go. So it's a very interesting pattern, and it is paid for, but it's nice because you can use any yarn, you can use any needles. Like I used 8s on this, which was probably a little bit big once I got down to the single yarn, but I do really like the fabric of it.
I'm using a 2.
Okay.
I think I should be using a 3, but I'm a loose knitter, and I was originally making the adult medium. And if you buy the pattern, you'll see there's numbers that go with each of the sizes from, baby up to adult extra large, I believe. And I was originally making the medium. And when I got to where I had the right number of stitches, I was like, so I bumped up and I'm doing the large. I just did another round of increases. It's 2 more stitches per section. So it's 8 more stitches total. But I was just afraid it was going to be too small.
Yeah.
And if it is too small, big deal. I'll give it to one of the kids or, someone with, but I measured my head.
That's what I did in medium also. So
yeah, but I think mine, I just felt like it was going to be a little bit too small.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell when you're on 16-inch needles because I can't really stretch it out. But I was like, and I can't try it on. I mean, I could put it on Barbara cord or something and try it on. But I thought, I'm just going to add those, do one more round of increases. And then it's really, this has kind of been my go-to this week. You can just sit and knit.
Yes. And it's nice because even the increase section isn't hard. But once you get through that, you got 20 inches of stockinette. So
yeah. Normally I have a sock. When I'm tired at night, I'll just sit and work on a sock just because I don't have to think. But at night I've been working on this. It's fun. I like to see the colors, kind of how they're playing. The color really, I mean, it's all blues, but it's fun to get to a dark spot in the yarn and see how it goes. So one suggestion, if you decide to do this, you need 4 stitch markers. And if you can see, I'm kind of weird with matching my stitch markers to my yarn. Sometimes, it doesn't always work, but so I have 3, 1, 2, 3 light blue, And then I have a special stitch marker. It's like a little shell. That's my beginning of round. Because once you get going, you know, you leave the stitch markers on. I don't need them right now, really, but I'm going to need them when I decrease. So I like to do a special something, a fancier, or at least a different stitch marker so I know where my beginning of the round is. Not that I'm counting or anything, but
yeah, I did the same thing too. When I had it originally had it magic loop, I just used the two ends as the sides. But then once I switched to 16s, it was much more enjoyable at that point also to do.
yeah. And this is, like I said, it's a 16-inch size 2 needle. So I'm anxious to see how it fits. This is my first Musselburgh I've made, and I mean, there's people that have made many, but I think if I like the fit of it, I might make all the kids one for Christmas because I think it's going to be a nice fitting hat.
Yes.
And warm. So.
And I've seen people make them different. I know there's a couple people that I watch, YouTubers and stuff, that they have made them kind of shorter because they're typically husbands don't like them, or they'll fold them up short and like barely cover their ears. So you can definitely kind of play around with it too.
Yeah.
It's pretty customizable.
Yeah, but I'm really liking the fabric that this yarn's making. And this is a 80-20. It's 80% superwash wool, 20% nylon.
And really, like just one skein will typically do.
I mean, I haven't even.
Oh no,
I haven't even touched. I bet I'm gonna have leftover. I would think.
I had a 50 gram for the black, and I think I just maybe was like this much is all the more I needed for the second 50 grams. So, and I have a good size ball left of just the neon also.
And I don't think I'm going to do any color changes on this one. I think I'm just going to knit this whole.
I think my next one I'm going to do, and I have some stock yarn or other yarn that I just kind of want to, I don't want to make socks, but I don't have enough to kind of go with other things. So.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just going to see how, you know, kind of just do one skein and see how far it gets me. Because I think it'll be a good like show sample.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And then it'll be nice because you'll be able to see the colors too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it. It's been kind of a week, and I just needed mindless. So that's one of my whips. So you want to go ahead with a whip?
Yeah. So this is one that you've seen before. So this is my flax sweater for Ethan. So we're sweating through here. So I was about this on the other sleeve, but I did finish the sleeve.
I like that red.
I faded in the red. And then I left it on, I just put it on barber cord and took off a whole, probably like 3 or 4 arm lengths to bind off, but I wanted to wait just to make sure it's going to fit at the end. So I didn't completely bind off yet. I did do the fade, and I just kept using my light bulb markers just because it was a 7 pattern or 7 row repeat of the decreases. So I just was using that to mark those also. So that kind of helped. And then I just picked up the other side. And then this, I'll start the decreases on. So I've at least got one arm done.
Now, are you going to do the fading at the bottom of the sweater also?
Yes, I am. So that's why I've kind of been doing it one at a time.
Right.
And it was kind of fiddly because I had like this, I didn't take off. So I had it still attached, and there was like 3 balls going. And so I hadn't worked on it quite too much because it was just at that really fiddly point. So now that I'm back down to hopefully just 1 ball and only attached to one spot, it'll be easier. And this is the flax sweater by Tin Can Knits, and I'm doing the 8 to 10 size.
And it's a free pattern.
It is. It's a free pattern, and if you get the Tin Can Knits app, you can select your sizes. They have everything from infant to at least like XL or double XL, maybe even higher. And you click what you want. If you want it cropped, if you want short sleeve, long sleeve, what, and you only see your numbers. So it's nice, and you just click down through of, yes, I did this step. Now I go to this step.
Yeah, it's really nice. And you could, like she said, like you customize it, and then you only see your pattern.
And then it'll give you what you want. You can pick your yarn. I know they do this in, I think, fingering, worsted, and DK. So you can also see like how much yarn you're going to need, recommended needle sizes. I'm doing it right now on 8s. So I have my Chai Goose in now. And then did the body on my Addy Clicks, but I made a mistake on this. I started doing the ribbing last night, and then I realized I didn't change to my smaller needles, so I had to rip it out and change to my smaller needles. But I was pretty well engaged for it, so
It's really cute.
I'm excited. I tried it on him probably right before, I think, last podcast, and it's like it was coming just right to about his elbow, so I think it'll be a good length for where the red fades in.
Good.
So I'm excited.
That is exciting.
I'm hoping to get it done November. It's his birthday, so that's my goal. It's a birthday present.
Birthday present. All right. Well, my next whip is called Woven. Let me get it all straightened out here. It is basically a one skein. I think I'm going to need 2 skeins. I am using this Wool Addicts. It's a 6-ply. I'm going to come closer. Wool Addicts 6-ply. I carry it here in the shop, and it's kind of fall colors. And it's almost like a faux like linen stitch. It's slip stitches. Like every other row is like slip stitches. So yeah. And you can see the yarn's just fading. I'm not doing any color changing. It's like a 4-row repeat. And the back row is, mostly pearl. So yeah, but I'm down to this, and I don't think it's going to be big enough.
No.
So I think I'm going to make it 2 skeins. And I made a boo-boo. I don't know, somehow, somewhere I dropped a stitch.
Oh, geez.
So what I did is, I put that stitch that I dropped on a light bulb stitch marker, and it's just hanging out down here. When I'm all done, I'll pull that to the back, and there's a little tiny hole. So what I'll do is just take another piece of yarn, and I'll just sew that in there. No big deal. You'll never see it when it's finished, but I don't know what I did. I looked down and I was like, oh, what is that? Why do I have a loop down there? And I was like,
I just saw, I don't even remember where I saw it. Someone had worn their socks multiple times and then found a drop stitch like on their heel somewhere. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it while I was knitting, but I was too far past to rip back. And I was like, So I, looked at it for a minute and put it on the marker. And I was like, oh yeah, I can fix that later, and you'll never see where it is. There's enough of a texture to this that, yeah.
And it'd be hard even if you did catch it early. It's not like it's stockinette or something that you
Right.
can easily work it up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was pretty far past it, and then I wouldn't be able to figure out what row I'm on. And there's some mistakes in this. If you get off, I can't find a place, maybe right there. If you get off, your stitches actually line up.
Yes.
And they shouldn't. They should be like offset. I have a place, I know that place for sure. Maybe one earlier. Yeah, right down here. There's another one.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, in the overall scheme of the whole shawl, you're not going to see it. What I did is I compensated on the one end, because when you get to the end, your pattern doesn't work out. So I'm like, so somewhere I made a mistake. So then I would like knit 2 together, or to get back on track, and like, it's okay.
I did that a lot on my Mia, because there was that seed stitch in the back, and so you would get off, and then you're off for 3 rows at least, so you have like the laddering.
Yep. So that's why, like, or if there's an increase, if I was on a side that I was to increase, I wouldn't increase. I just wouldn't do like the knit front and back. And that way it would get me off again. Does that make sense? My stitches need to probably be odd, and I probably somehow ended up with like even stitches. And so then I would just either not do a decrease or not do an increase to get back on track. And I'll know it's there, but I am not that fussy.
No.
I'm not that fussy of a knitter. I'm not that big of a perfectionist. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. And I think it's going to be really pretty. It's my colors.
Yeah.
So, and I love this yarn. It's really, really soft. It's made by Lang, and it's 75 merino wool and 25% polyamide. And it's super wash. So technically you could, probably wash it and I don't ever dry my knits or anything I've handmade, anything made. I always, always lay it flat to dry. Even my socks. I hang my socks. But I do put them through the washer. I have like a lingerie bag that I
Mhm.
put them all in. I put the washer on gentle with, some wool wash. And then I pull them out and I have a drying rack in my laundry room that I hang them all. So, because I feel like the dryer is what really you know, kills your knits.
Although I have I forget what it even was. It was like that big duster cardigan that we did whenever you were in the Napa building.
Uh-huh.
I have like a vest part of it. I pulled the rest out, but I couldn't get that part undone. And it somehow ends up in like the washer every other month or so. Robert will like throw it in and then it goes to the dryer. I can't believe how well it's held up. It's probably been through the washer and
What yarn
dryer.
is it? Do you remember?
It's the Tweety.
Deluxe worsted tweed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's deluxe worsted tweed. That stuff, I mean,
Oh, I can't believe it. I mean, and it still looks fine. It's not really like filtered
pilly
or
or,
anything. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's a good yarn. I mean, it's one of my basics. I've had it for years and years, and yeah, it's one of my go-to yarns.
so this is not a new cast on, but you guys have not seen it yet. So this is the Dark Cloud Tee by Joji Locatelli. It doesn't really look like much yet. It's worked in 2 panels, front and back. So this will be the back. It's going to be kind of like an oversized tunic. And this is in my Sierra yarns. I found them like an ad on Facebook or Instagram or something. They're Sierra Peruvian yarns, and the color is gray and charcoal. They have so it is 60% baby alpaca and 40% Pima cotton. It is so soft though. It's almost like an unspun
Oh, yeah.
little bit. So I'm excited. It's been on my needles for forever, but I really haven't started working on it yet a lot. So I'm probably about an inch or two away from the bottom. And then
Will you just finish out that skein, and then how many skeins do you have?
I have a lot. I have, I think, 8. I think about 2
okay.
4-packs.
So how many skeins is this so far?
This is 1, and this will be 1 and 2. So
2 skeins.
yes.
Okay.
So
at least it'll be a 4 skein.
At least, yes. And then I'm trying to pull up the picture here because it's at this point simple enough that I don't actually even have the pattern. I just have it downloaded on my but it's gonna be like a nice kind of see if I can, if you can see there. So it's kind of like a nice oversized. I think it'll go well with the tunic.
Are you going to put sleeves on it?
Yes. So there's sleeves to it.
Cute.
And I think it's actually, I didn't realize it, but I think it's actually kind of open on the side, which I would wear something under it anyway.
Right.
But this is
it's really soft
sweater that I'm just kind of, I think it'll be nice to wear, and really probably get away with it most of the year.
Right.
Because it will be kind of really light and airy.
All right. Well, my last WIP, I think I talked about it last week, but I did make a little bit of progress, not much. Oh, and I'm in the middle of a row, of course. This is the Sunday Morning Wrap by Espace Tricot, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, so I'm not giving anything away. And it's like a trapezoid shape. My friend Kim made one, and she did the shawl. And this is the wrap. So there is sections of twisted rib, and then you do a stockinette section, then twisted rib, stockinette. So I'm on probably almost through another stockinette section. And I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stockinette sections total. So I still have a ways to go. But you start with like 218 stitches, so the rows are pretty long. But yeah, I've been picking this up for, an hour here and there. And then I started the Musselburgh hat, and I could not put it down. So, but that is my last WIP, I believe.
I have two more. These are just basic simple socks that I've been working on forever. These I called them my Disney socks. And I started them before we went to Disney. I started the cuff and then I worked on them while we were in line or while we were on the rides. Like the People Mover, we got stuck on the People Mover this last time, like 3 or 4 times, and
Oh,
I just sat there
jeez.
and knit on my socks. This is unknown stash yarn, and I don't remember if this was stash or not. Oh, this was a yarn from my my Toy Shared sheet box,
Oh, okay.
but I don't remember what it was, and I don't have it wrote down because I was
Yeah.
not prepared today. Um,
It's pretty.
but they remind me of The Little Mermaid, so that's why I've been kind of calling them my Disney socks.
Cute.
I have them on.
We have a theme today.
We do.
Like mint. Thank you. Purple and mint
Yes.
green is a thing.
They are on my little Chai-Gus, and I talked to Lisa about this before. So they're not the same length of cord. So the little Chai-Gu, they come in red and blue, and I think yellow.
Yellow. Mhm.
They come with different lengths, and then they're really nice for socks or sleeves or whatever. But what I do is they come with I believe this is a
0.5.
these are like a 2 inch and then a 3 inch needles length. So I put the long one as my right needle, and then I use the small one, and then I get about the same size because I think the cords are 5 and 6 inches for the smaller ones, and I think it's 8 inches for the next size that comes in it, which is kind of too big for socks. But that way I can do 2 at a time. I don't have 9 inch circulars. That's probably going to be one of my next investments, but kind of nice that I can do them both and work on them at the same time. So
I think that's pretty smart though, because then it cuts down on your circumference. The reason I'm speaking for you, but so if she used 2 3-inch tips,
it's too long. And
it's too long,
awkward,
and it's going to stretch her sock out and not be consistent.
So at least with the smaller one, especially the smaller on the left hand needle, the kind of one I knit Continental, so it's easier to kind of maneuver and just get it in and out.
Yeah.
Than the 2 long ones.
And I mean, I know they're circular, but if you get your needles too long, there's almost an elbow in there. Like you kind of have to keep fighting it and working around that elbow.
Yes.
Does that make sense? People that knit on circular needles will understand, but that takes away that a little bit and lets it flow.
It flows nicely. I mean, I think with all socks too, like until you get off the cuff, it's kind of a little awkward and fiddly just because they are usually a little bit smaller than your circumference. And the same thing, just I use my little light bulb stitch markers to mark every 10 rows, and then that way I can keep them equal.
Do you have a favorite sock pattern, or is it just a vanilla sock
So this is just a vanilla sock. I've kind of just really adapted and do like I think I'm gonna do I did 15 rows, knit 2, purl 2 cuffs, and then I was gonna do probably about 30 rows for the leg, and then I'm gonna try the Fish Lips Kiss heel because I have not done that yet.
I did it once. It was okay.
Yeah. My other socks I have done heel flap and gussets. So I bought the pattern.
That was my go-to until I started doing my sock tubes.
Yes.
And now I do an afterthought heel and just make it like a toe. So, and I really like it because then I don't need a pattern at all, ever.
Yeah.
Because I have, the toe memorized, and I don't ever need a pattern. I can just knit. So
I have a couple socks on my kind of like wish list of what I want to do, like that are new patterns or different things.
I have in my Ravelry. You should see
my wish list.
My wish list someday.
And then this was kind of an acquisition, which I didn't bring my actual book.
I do. We both bought it. Yes. We both bought it. Unknowingly.
We talked about it, and then I looked and I saw and they were still on sale, and then I bought one.
Yeah. So we have matching bags.
So these are the Pacific Knit Co. Doodle. She recently came out with a book, and if you're not familiar with doodles, so they are charts to make color work. They're typically like 12 to 24 stitches in like length of the repeat, so then you can make different color works, and it kind of is nice because it makes it simple and it's kind of bite-sized. You
That
don't have
one's
to worry
kinda
about
graphic, so you can see.
so you don't have to worry about like trying to follow a giant chart or anything. I have never knit color work.
Ooh.
So I then also saw on her, I think it was her Instagram or maybe an email that.
I'm just showing you a few pages. I don't want to give it away because it's,
Oh,
it's obviously a book, but you can make cowls, hats. You can incorporate the chart into socks, mitts.
let me see. Do I have the
So like on the
first?
cover, she has a little pair of kids' mittens and then a little pair of socks. This is a beautiful cowl or scarf. And then
Mhm.
up here's another little pair of mittens with apples on them.
So whenever you get any, either the decks or the book, or so I'm in the travel test knit. So
I'm just going to show you real quick. These
yeah.
are what the decks are like.
So they're like cards. I've seen people who will make a cowl and just kind of shuffle the deck and pull out one, and then that's what you do. Most of them are like 5 to 15 rounds high, so you just kind of add into it. The cowl takes roughly 60, depending on your gauge. This I honestly didn't really do gauge. I picked a pair of
For a
needles that I
cowl, I
thought,
usually don't.
and a bunch of random yarn. So I am not nearly finished with this row, but all I have so far, it's the ribbing. This is a road, and then this will eventually be a bicycle.
Cute.
My father-in-law rides bicycles, so that's why I kind of am like, oh, I want to do that. I think I may eventually make either my father-in-law or mother-in-law a hat with the bikes on, probably the road and the bike.
Will you keep repeating those 2 rows, or what are you going to do?
So there are trains.
And this is a test knit
This is
for the travel pack.
Yes. So
these aren't out yet. If you see this and go to buy the doodle deck, it's not ready yet.
No, they're not out yet. I think the test knit is done on November 11th. I think it went from October 11th to November 11th.
Okay.
So there is bikes, there's railroad tracks, there's cruise ships, ferries, there's like a whole bunch, like any type of transportation that you can think of is on here. I'm going to do, after the bike, I'm going to do another road, I believe, and then I'm going to do trains.
Okay.
Because my son loves and husband are train fanatics. So I'm going to do probably 2 rows. There's 2 different kinds of trains. And then I haven't decided. I think if I do anything else, it's going to be a simple one that's one of the like 1 colors, because 3 colors was a little much. But
those are cute.
So.
And back to the decks real quick. This is the autumn doodle deck. And I know it's hard to see, but there's pumpkins, there's leaves, umbrellas, acorns. And then this is the winter doodle deck. It is snowflakes. It looks like a little mug of coffee, some graphic kind of things, pine trees, but they're really fun. I mean, I don't want to give anything away because they are, but that they're cards. And then on the back, there's a chart. So, and like Ashley said, some of them, like this one is 5 high, and then there's some that are like 15 high. So, and then she has recipes, basically for patterns. So you would look at, like, pick a cowl, or if you want to do mittens, and then she has the general like sizes that you need and stitch count. And then you just have to do a little bit of figuring to figure out, like, if you want just like one emblem on your paw or on the back of your hand. That
I believe this is in her free on the website.
There's a scan thing.
Yeah, so there's like a thing, and it's hard to see on here, but there's like grids basically. So you can see I have color coded, which is light, which is dark, and which is my accent. And then I'm just following along with that.
So you drew that yourself. This was not on there.
Yeah, so
that's Ashley drawing that.
Blank, and then I just was using colors. It was honestly the 3 colors that I had on my desk that day.
Yeah. So like I did the pre-order. I got like a signed, which, no big deal, but it's kind of cool. And this is her first book. She's done the doodle decks for quite a while, but this is her first actual book. Look at the socks. Like, they're so cute.
And you don't have to do them all over color either. Like you can just do the band at the top, do your cuff and then do a couple rows of color work.
Yeah, like this one kind of shows. There's just one, like right in there, one section, and then this is plain and this is plain. So
I know the books were I think I got the email that they were back on back order, but I definitely like it.
she might have them out because I feel like she's going to be somewhere this weekend.
Okay, I know they had some, and then they were doing like additional pre-orders.
Right, because like Rhinebeck's this weekend, Cake Palooza's this weekend.
I knew Rhinebeck was, but
well, there's all these little shows that have popped up around Rhinebeck.
Okay.
Which, I mean, smart for them. So like on Friday, which I've never been to Rhinebeck. Someday I'm going.
Yeah.
Someday. But Cake Palooza's on Friday, and there's like admission tickets, and you buy like a 2-hour slot.
Okay.
So it might be like 10 to 12 and then 12 to 2. So yeah, there's different, like you have to buy an admission ticket. And there's one other one, and there are a lot of like smaller indie dyers, like a lot of the people I follow on Instagram are going to be, there. Katrinkles, they do like the stitch markers and all the little fun gadgets. Chelsea Yarns is going to be there. I like her yarns a lot. She's really cool. She just came out with a new pattern today. She and that Shayna Billows.
I've never heard of her.
She does a lot of Chelsea's patterns.
Okay.
So they're going to have a knit along going on, and I think I might get yarn into it.
Yeah.
It's a chevron like poncho.
Oh,
it's really cute.
The one thing I wish I wouldn't have done is I used a variegated yarn for the road, and you don't really get to see the variegated too well. And like in some spots, like right here, it's very light and it kind of goes in with that white.
Oh.
But it does kind of make it look like the road. So once I see it all done, I'll see. But I think I would avoid, because I was actually going to use a different color for the background of the bikes, and then I was worried it wasn't going to come out.
Wasn't going to show up enough.
So definitely some like color theory that I'm learning to see what's going to show and what's going to not. But
well, I mean, in my experience, the more contrast, the better.
Yes.
The higher contrast with color work. If you think it looks garish, or like too much, it's probably going to be fine.
Yes. And then you can also, if you're doing color work and you want to see, take a picture, look on your camera and put it in black and white and see if you can tell the difference. So I did do that with some of them.
Yeah. Is that all your whips?
That is all that I brought. Yes.
Okay. Dream knitting. I talked last time about these yarns and asked for pattern help. So these are 2 different companies. I bought them at 2 separate shows, and they've been in my stash. I want to use them together. I'm going to do the Elton's cardigan by Joji Locatelli. It is a sections of fingering, similar to this, like kind of similar to what I'm wearing. I really like Joji Locatelli's patterns. I'm just going to pull it up here real quick. I should have done it.
And a caveat. So that's Dark Cloud sweater. I started that probably January of this year is when I got the yarn for it. And I didn't actually realize, like, everyone I started watching podcasts and I was talking about Joji Locatelli, and then I looked back and I was calling it like Joji something or other.
Yeah.
And then I realized
she's from like Argentina, so like probably a Spanish,
Yeah, but it was funny because I was like, oh my, that's who like that pattern is, and I was like, oh, I really want to make like something Joji Locatelli. Everyone makes Joji, and I looked and I was like, oh, I am already.
I am. So this is the Elton sweater. I'm going to get real close because it's on Ravelry. It's a paid for pattern, but you can see there's sections of fingering, and then in between is the mohair. So this is actually Surrey alpaca and silk. It's lovely. But I think I need one more. So I messaged, this is River Rat Yarns. I bought these at a show. I don't know, wherever. She's going to be at the Rags Fiber Festival on Saturday. So I sent a picture of this and messaged her and said, would you have one more? Could you put it back for me? If not, which, I mean, who knows? It's hand dyed. I bought it years ago. Like, she shouldn't have it. I hope she doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, I hope for me she does, but Hopefully it sold a long time ago. But what I'm going to do this weekend is poke around and look for something that's either similar or coordinates with all of these. And then those stripes, kind of like this, like I could have done these in different colors. Big deal. But I think I need one more just to be, I would feel safer to have one more. It's not like I won't use it in something else. But this only has 328 yards. So that's less than, kind of considerably less than sock yarn.
Yeah.
Sock yarn usually has 400 and some. This one has 463 yards. And this is from Passion Knits. I don't even know where I saw them, where I got this. I liked it. Obviously, I think I like teal and purple. It's kind of a thing. But yeah, so I think I'm definitely going to do the Elton sweater. I'm taking these with me to the show on Saturday, and I'm going to poke around. And, worst comes to worst, I may dye my own. If I can't find something that I like, I just may dye my own. Speaking of that, I know my yarn's always behind us, but these are all new. So on the very top rack is some alpaca DK weight, and I just did them in solids. And then this half of the second row, I did all new bases this time. So before I was dyeing 80% merino, 20% nylon. This time I got 100% merino. I just wanted to see, and I mean, I have quite a bit of the 80-20 left. So I did get the 100%. So you could use it for socks. I'm not saying you can't. You can, they need the nylon, they say, but I never worn through socks, and I know I've used 100% wool on socks, but it's really soft. It's I believe a 3-ply. So this is one of the colors I did up, and I called it Spooky.
I say that looks like Halloween.
Yeah, I figured, for the show this weekend, we're all dressing in costume. There's 425 yards to 100 grams, but it's really plump.
It is.
And I think it's a 3-ply, maybe a 2-ply. And then these ones are the alpaca. It is 60% alpaca, 40% wool.
Ooh.
And I decided to do them kind of tonally.
Yeah.
Not as
solid.
Right. I thought, I don't know that you would knit like a whole sweater or shawl. It might be a hold along. So I didn't want them really strong, like dominant colors. So I wanted it to blend a little bit more. I did do one, I think I only have one left. But I had dyed
I like that.
Yeah, I had dyed that in the, I'm trying to get my colors down. Like it's a little chemistry, sciencey, but to get them consistent. So this is alpaca, and then this is the merino. And I use the same colors. I wrote my recipe down. They're pretty darn close.
They are.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Now, here's my concern. If you held these together, your colors aren't going to match up.
No.
They're going to get muddied, but it's going to be the same.
Stripey.
Yeah. Right. I can't ever picture myself doing stripes. That's a whole other voodoo.
No.
Whole other voodoo. I'm not sure even how to begin that. But yeah, I was pretty pleased. Okay. I was pretty pleased that they kind of came out pretty darn close.
Oh, yeah.
So learning, it's a big learning process, and these will all get packed. And this is another one that I thought turned out pretty well. Kind of purples and yellows, and I called this one Aurora. We've been all seeing the northern lights, and did you see them last Thursday?
Yes, I think it was that day that we saw them. I was coming home.
Yeah, we were camping. We were up at Lumber City campground, and it was beautiful. It was, and I kept trying to take pictures, and your phone enhances them.
Yeah,
like they were really subtle, like muted, almost pastel colors. And I said to my friend that we were camping with, I'm like, oh, I want to dye yarn in these colors. She's like, you are ridiculous. But then your camera would like filter it or do a flash or do something, and the pictures came out much brighter, but they were beautiful. For my first time ever seeing them.
Yeah.
So I know lots of people have, but
yeah, they were pretty light at our house. But I saw like everyone was posting them. So
yeah,
it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it was really neat for us here. We don't normally see them, so it was fun. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Do you have any dream knitting?
I really just want to get stuff off my needles.
Yep.
That's my goal. I've finished 2 projects now and I only started 1. Well, actually now 3, and I've only started 1, so that's good. I'm in the negative.
Well, during COVID, that was my thing. Like I either frogged it, like I have a craft room at home and I had a whole room full of project bags. And, during COVID, we were home and I was like, okay, I'm going to finish all these. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. I frogged
Yeah.
so many. I'm like, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time on it.
And you can use the yarn for something else.
I can. So, but my mantra was finish 2, start 1. Because, during COVID, everybody was putting patterns out and, you'd sit at home and look at Ravelry and be like, oh, I want to make that. I was like, okay, if I finish 2 things, then I can start 1.
Yeah. And honestly, if I didn't get in that test knit, I probably would have been good and not started it. So that kind of was a little bit.
Well, yeah, your work, it's a work.
Yes. So that one, I have some yarn already set out. I'm going to possibly do a cowl, a Christmas knit, and then I need to work on my tube socks. That's what I need to, that's kind of next on my.
I think I want to make socks for all my kids for Christmas. So, but I'll crank a tube and then just do the heel, toe, and cuff. So honestly, I can have a pair of socks done in a day if I really buckle down.
Yeah.
Just doing the heel, toe, and cuff. So I need to get shoe sizes and, get busy on those because it's coming.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
It's crazy, man.
I saw something. It's like 11 Fridays till Christmas or something.
Geez.
I know. I was like, ugh.
And then after Christmas, we're going to do a knit along for a selfish knit along. So still kind of stay tuned for that. We haven't really talked.
I have an idea. Remind me to tell you. I have an idea.
Okay. So any makers that want to donate anything, Lisa's going to donate some stuff. Probably, a handful, and then hopefully every year we could continue it. And
and also one other thing, if you like our video, like and subscribe. We're getting closer to our 100 subscribers. So once we hit 100, then we're going to do a random draw giveaway. I'll be giving away some yarn. I have some yarn put back for it. So yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, tell your friends, share it. You can share it to your Facebook page and spread the word. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you like it and then subscribe on YouTube, it kind of helps with their algorithm as well. So the more people that are liking and subscribing, kind of will pop up.
Yeah, so people other places can see us because like my regulars, I know they watch and I love you and appreciate you, but
kind of hopefully get out there to some new viewers.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm heading off to Rags Fiber Festival this weekend. And hopefully Ashley will visit me and we'll get some video. And if not, I'll get video anyhow.
Yeah. And if we go, we make a live down there. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right. Have a good 2 weeks.
Have a good 2 weeks. Be safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.